Sometimes I look at my calendar, and it's like I'm staring at a stranger. The dates are mine, but the appointments, the commitments, the expectations, they feel unfamiliar, heavy, suffocating. I've spent years saying yes to everything, bending and contorting myself to fit other people's needs, thinking if I just smoothed out every edge, maybe I'd finally be okay. But the truth is, no matter how much I accommodate, there's always a little voice inside me that feels depleted, resentful, unseen. I don't even remember the first time I started feeling this way. Maybe it wasn't one moment. Maybe it was 1,000 tiny agreements, 1,000 compromises. Every time I let someone walk all over me, every time I silenced my own needs, telling myself, see, you're being difficult, you're ruining things. After a while, you don't even need anyone else to pressure you. You do it yourself automatically, like breathing, describing the inner landscape. Some mornings I wake up and before I even check my emails, that voice is already there. You're inconveniencing people, you're being selfish. And I believe it because it sounds like me, the version of me I've been taught to be. I try to distract myself with work, scrolling, noise, anything that keeps me from being alone with that voice. But the quiet always comes back, and when it does, so does the weight. People think anxiety is about fear of something happening, but that's not really it. It's the dread of what other people will think. I've had those moments standing in a crowded room, smiling, nodding, playing my part, while inside I'm screaming for someone to notice that I'm not okay with constantly sacrificing myself. But no one ever does because I've gotten too good at pretending. It's easier that way, right? If I act fine, I don't have to explain the exhaustion inside my head. I've asked myself 100 times, why do I let people treat me this way? And I think part of it comes from a deep-seated fear of disappointing others, of losing connection. Every time I stand up for myself, it feels like a betrayal. Every compliment feels like a manipulation, a reward for compliance. I'll hear someone say, "You're being so strong," and my first instinct is to argue with them. I've realized it's not that I want to be miserable, it's that being agreeable became familiar, and familiar can start to feel safe, even when it's destroying you. But there are moments, tiny quiet moments that remind me it doesn't have to be this way. Like when I finally say no and the immediate relief washes over me, or when I realize I have a right to my own time and energy. Those moments don't fix everything, but they remind me I'm still here. That maybe beneath all the noise, there's still a version of me worth fighting for. For the longest time, I thought boundaries were about pushing people away, something you achieve after you're finally perfect. But I think it's smaller than that. It's choosing to breathe when your brain tells you to apologize. It's forgiving yourself for not being a doormat. It's letting yourself feel guilty, and then choosing to prioritize your well-being anyway. It's realizing you can still have relationships even while protecting your energy. I started writing down one thing a day that felt like a win, even if it was small. Some days it was something simple, like finally unsubscribing from an unwanted email list or declining an invitation I didn't want. And over time, those little notes started to add up. They didn't erase the fear, but they made space for something else to exist beside it. I stopped trying to silence the anxious voice and started talking back to it. Yeah, maybe I'm inconveniencing someone today, but that doesn't mean I always will. Maybe I don't love myself yet, but I'm trying to understand what I need. There's this weird myth that setting boundaries means you wake up one day and everyone accepts it without question. But I think real boundaries are messier. It's showing up for yourself even when you're terrified of the fallout. It's saying no to a request even when your brain tells you to say yes. It's texting a friend back and explaining why you need space, even if it's awkward. Those things sound small, but they're proof that you haven't given up on yourself. I used to think peace was about eliminating discomfort. Now I think it's about finding strength within it. Peace isn't the loud moments, it's the quiet ones. Sitting in your room, realizing that maybe you're okay, even if you're disappointing someone. It's not about forcing positivity. It's about giving yourself permission to feel everything and still move forward, even when you're braced for a negative reaction. Though, yeah, I still have days where I brace myself for the storm. I still look at my calendar and struggle to see someone worth protecting. But I'm learning that shrinking myself doesn't protect me. It just keeps me stuck. And even if I don't fully believe it yet, I'm trying to accept that maybe I deserve to feel okay, even if it means others are upset.